when my oldest child was 3 years old, I got an assignment to do a talk on family worship in South Africa. And I thought, well, that would be fairly easy. I just talk about my dad and model it and find some scripture support. But as I began to study, I realized that Scottish church history, Dutch church history, English church history, family worship was a fundamental part of the God-fearing people's lives. And that they did 4 things. They prayed, they read the Bible, then the father instructed each day from that chapter his children, and then they prayed again, and then they sang. And so I spent, I don't know, a couple hundred hours, maybe 300 hours preparing that talk, the better part of a summer, and read all this literature and all these books on family worship from the past. And I realized I was in a gold mine. And when I actually delivered the talk, it was so pent up in me, and I changed my own family worship accordingly right away.
Yeah.
And I just poured it out. And I went to my cabin at that camp, and everybody else went to lunch. I just got on my knees and prayed that God would bless it. And then I came like 10 minutes later and walked into the room. And you know how at cafeteria, lunchtime, everybody's talking, there's a buzz. You could hear a pin drop. And I go, what is going on? I sat down next to a guy. I said, what's going on? He said, the president of Potchefstroom University was asked to lead in prayer, and he broke down and wept. And he said to all of us, you have all got to go out. These are the old days of cassette tapes.
Yeah.
You've all got to go out and order as many cassette tapes of this talk as you have families in your church, and give one to every father.
Oh, wow.
And about 15 minutes later, he came over to see me, and he said, I want you to make a promise to me. I want you to promise that you'll write this up in a book, and you'll do what you can to give this talk all around the world. I promised him that, and I have given it in 20, 30 countries at least. And
is that the Family Guidance series?
Yes. So it's called Family Worship.
Yeah.
It's just you can read it in 2 hours. And then later on, what we did was we determined that no one has ever done a family worship Bible where you take each chapter and you give fathers helps, major takeaways of each chapter. So we spent 5 years doing in a King James version. We did Reformed notes with a group of guys, 4 of us mainly, and some other helpers. And then we did 2 or 3 major takeaways from each chapter. Well, that just sold tens of thousands almost right away. But people kept clamoring, we want the family worship section extracted, and so we can use it in the Bible translation we're doing. And we said, okay. So we actually produced this family worship Bible guide. And this just takes the family worship sections from that regular Bible in each chapter. And this is now, I think, our best-selling book. Now we sell thousands of these, and tens of thousands. And people just contact us all the time saying how they're using it every day. It's changed their family worship. So even my wife and I now, all our kids are married. We read this faithfully. Every day we read a Bible chapter. Then we read these 2 or 3 takeaways. We talk to each other about them. Most of them end with a question. Mm-hmm. And so it takes a lot of that prep work from a father out of the way, so a father doesn't have to feel guilty that he didn't prepare family worship that day. And the conversation can go in all kinds of directions once that question is opened up and you start talking. And that's fine. I think it's good in family worship when kids spontaneously ask you other questions. Yeah. And you end up just talking about the Lord.
And they're really engaged.
Yes.
Yeah. People have told me that even just for private devotions, if they don't have a family or just doing it by themselves, they've found it very useful.
Yes, that's why it's called Thoughts for Personal/Family Worship. It's good for, and also like single moms, it's very difficult, busy life.
Yeah.
And to use this, and the mother then plays the role of the father and leads family worship is just a tremendous help. Yeah. So I've done many conferences where people will buy it. Like I say, on a Friday night, I talk about it. They'll buy it on Friday night. And Saturday morning, they'll come to me and say, we did family worship a Saturday morning, and we used this family worship Bible guide. It was wonderful. We're going to keep doing it. It's so rewarding.